This is probably going to make me sound like a sad little lib boy, but I just finished the Pete Buttigieg and Andrew Schulz podcast, and there were a few times where I started to tear up, like for real, like just the way and that Pete Buttigieg was talking about the things that he wants for this country and the kind of passion that he had in his voice and how he seemed so sincere. And then hearing the guys that he's talking to who we view as just like the I don't know how to say it without sounding mean, but just these like surface level MAGA people. That's the best way I could think to put it. Just the way that he managed to make them like actually think about what he was saying, instead of saying, "Oh no, you're just a dumb lib. You're just a dumb liberal. You don't know what you're talking about." But the fact that they were like sitting there and they were saying like, "Oh man, yeah, that sounds like it'd be a great thing," or "that sounds fire," or all these other things. It is such a good interview, and it's so crazy because it's the way that the world and politics and identity sways is very interesting, because you look at these guys and you don't think the typical conservative, I'm going to church, there's I don't want you can't be sinning, you can't do sin. That's not what who these kind of guys are. They are the liberals of old, you know? And Pete Buttigieg was the person that we needed to go out and do these interviews during the election cycle, but the Democratic Party were just too careful with everything. And the conversations that need to be had with these people who voted for MAGA and who felt like their voices or their concerns weren't being heard. But please go listen to the podcast, and then maybe send it to one of your MAGA relatives, friends, whatever, because I'm hoping that this is the first step. I feel like this is a huge step. I'm interested to see if he ends up going on like Theo Vaughn or Joe Rogan, because Joe Rogan has been having his issues with Trump. He has been questioning what's going on. So if Pete Buttigieg goes on Joe Rogan and he can talk to him and get the message out there like he did with these guys on Andrew Schulz's podcast, I think it's going to have a good impact, because Pete Buttigieg just knows how to talk and get a message out there properly and meet people where they're at. And that's exactly what we need right now.